The Galactic Command, a vast coalition of advanced species, operates as the ultimate authority, maintaining peace across the galaxy. Its structure is complex, composed of representatives from each of the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. These species, masters of diplomacy, interstellar strategy, and cutting-edge technology, share a common goal: the preservation of galactic order. They have enjoyed centuries of peace, guided by a set of treaties so well forged that war has become a distant memory. The integration of newly discovered species into this alliance has been a hallmark of their success. When humans, an emergent spacefaring race from a small system, joined the galactic community, it was seen as an opportunity to further strengthen the unity. Humans were adaptable and quick to learn, but their military potential was considered insignificant in comparison to the galactic juggernauts already present. Humans, while initially viewed with mild curiosity, quickly earned a reputation for diplomacy and innovation. Their contribution to peacebuilding initiatives was seen as positive, if a little underwhelming. Technologically, they were far behind, yet they brought a fresh perspective that many species found intriguing. What the Galactic Command never saw in humans was a threat. Militarily, they were not remarkable, outmatched by the more advanced species who had spent eons perfecting warfare before the peace treaties. This perception cemented humans as pacifists, a species far more inclined to negotiate than fight. The idea that they would ever engage in large-scale war was laughable. After all, they were new to the galaxy, just learning the ropes of interstellar politics and trade. For decades, they seemed content with their modest place, avoiding conflicts and playing by the rules. And then came the attack. A neutral colony belonging to one of the command's oldest member species was struck without warning. It was a minor outpost on the fringes of space, lightly defended and considered strategically irrelevant. The first reports were vague, almost incomprehensible. Ships of unknown configuration, fast-moving, and brutally efficient, decimated the colony's defenses within minutes. The survivors' transmissions barely made sense. But the evidence was undeniable: humans had attacked. The shock that rippled through the Galactic Command was immediate. Why would humans, of all species, resort to such a violent act? They were not known for this. Their peaceful history made it hard for the command's leadership to comprehend what was happening. The colonies hit were not militarized, they posed no threat. Worse, the humans had not issued a formal declaration of war, something unheard of among the civilized galaxy. It wasn't just an attack, it was an affront to everything the Galactic Command stood for. Leaders of the Galactic Command gathered urgently in the heart of their capital, their faces etched with disbelief. To them, war was a thing of the past, regulated by strict codes and treaties. Diplomats, admirals, and politicians crowded the halls, grappling with the suddenness of the crisis. There was no consensus. Some believed the humans must have been provoked by an internal struggle, a rebellion or civil war that had gone horribly wrong. Others floated theories that the humans were under the control of some external influence, a manipulative force leading them astray. But none of these explanations satisfied the growing unease that hung in the air. No one, not even the most paranoid strategist, had predicted this. What could have pushed humanity to act with such aggression? In the midst of the confusion, a few voices called for caution, suggesting that perhaps the attacks were a mistake or a misunderstanding. But the overwhelming response from the command's military leaders was one of urgency. They had to prepare for retaliation, even if they didn't yet understand what had triggered these unprecedented human strikes. A species that had once been dismissed as insignificant now held the galaxy's attention, and the question on everyone's mind was terrifying: why? The human attacks defied everything the Galactic Command thought they knew about warfare. Alien generals, having honed their skills over centuries of strategic conflict before the peace treaties, found themselves at a loss. Humans didn't engage in predictable, large-scale battles that the command's forces were accustomed to. Instead, they employed guerrilla tactics, misdirection, and devastating hit-and-run strikes that left entire fleets reeling. The humans seemed to anticipate every countermeasure. Their ships would appear suddenly, striking with precision, and then vanish before the alien commanders could properly organize a response. Human cyber warfare capabilities wreaked havoc on the command's communications, and environmental manipulation turned entire planets into death traps. Alien commanders, used to large-scale and organized engagements, were unprepared for these tactics. They relied on overwhelming force and meticulous planning, but the humans constantly adapted. They manipulated gravitational fields, hacked defense systems, and even weaponized natural disasters on planetary battlefields. To the Galactic Command, it felt like fighting shadows. There was no single, predictable pattern to human attacks. Each time the command thought they had devised a solution, the humans would shift tactics, forcing them to rethink their entire approach. The result was total confusion. The command's fleets, often larger and more technologically advanced, were neutralized not by brute force but by cunning and relentless assaults. The efficiency and brutality of the human offensive were unlike anything the command had ever seen. While alien fleets boasted far superior technology, it seemed almost useless in the face of human adaptability. Advanced targeting systems and impenetrable shields were rendered ineffective through sheer ingenuity. Human forces managed to turn the command's own weapons against them. In one notorious engagement, a human strike team hacked into an alien flagship's defense systems, causing it to fire on its own fleet. Chaos reigned as the technologically superior alien forces found themselves outwitted and outmaneuvered at every turn. In the aftermath of these engagements, the losses were staggering. Entire fleets, once thought invincible, were decimated. The shock was not just in the scale of the destruction, but in the speed at which it occurred. It wasn't just about brute force, it was the unpredictability that left alien commanders unnerved. The humans struck where they were least expected, exploited every weakness, and disappeared before any meaningful retaliation could be mounted. The technological superiority of the Galactic Command meant nothing when human ingenuity was unleashed. Their unpredictability became a weapon in itself, turning what should have been easy victories into devastating defeats for the alien forces. The aliens underestimated not just human creativity in combat, but their willpower and tenacity. Historical records from human warfare, both on Earth and during their early spacefaring days, revealed a species that never surrendered, even in the face of impossible odds. Flashbacks to battles fought on Earth showed human resilience during wars that should have broken them. Against foes larger, stronger, and more advanced, humans never hesitated to dig in, regroup, and fight back. Their history of survival, even on a dangerous planet like Earth, had bred a unique and relentless determination. In space, that tenacity translated into an unwillingness to lose, no matter how technologically outmatched they were. The Galactic Command began to realize that humans didn't follow the rules of engagement that had defined interspecies conflict for millennia. When the humans fought, they fought to win, no matter the cost. Their tactics were not designed to merely hold ground or negotiate a better position, they were designed to eliminate the threat entirely. The sheer persistence of the humans left alien commanders bewildered. They attacked with an almost suicidal intensity, pushing through overwhelming firepower and insurmountable odds. This iron will, combined with their creative approach to warfare, left the command's forces demoralized. Every time they thought they had the humans cornered, they discovered that humans fought hardest when backed into a corner. Back in the heart of the Galactic Command, the fear was palpable. Human resilience, once seen as a quaint trait of a primitive species, was now viewed as a terrifying force. What had once been regarded as mere curiosity in their diplomatic circles now gave rise to alarm. Alien leaders, long accustomed to viewing humans as diplomatic partners, were forced to reassess their perception. No longer were humans the peace-seeking diplomats they had appeared to be. The ruthlessness they displayed in these attacks suggested a far more dangerous species. A dark undercurrent of paranoia began to spread through the ranks of the command. Whispers of hidden motivations circulated. Some speculated that humanity had secretly developed allies outside the known galaxy or had unearthed ancient technologies, giving them an edge that no one had anticipated. Others believed that the humans had been playing a long game, biding their time while secretly building their military capabilities. The idea that the humans could have orchestrated such a campaign without warning was unthinkable. But the reality of their relentless attacks was undeniable. As losses mounted, the command's leaders found themselves divided, some urging caution and an attempt to re-establish diplomatic ties, others calling for total war against a species they had once viewed as harmless. But the truth remained, the galaxy was no longer dealing with the humans they thought they knew. They were facing something far more dangerous, a species whose potential for war had been underestimated for far too long. Through a series of intercepted transmissions and reports from undercover operatives within human ranks, the Galactic Command begins to unravel the mystery behind the seemingly unprovoked attacks. What initially appeared to be reckless aggression begins to show signs of a deliberate and calculated campaign. Humanity is not acting out of irrational anger or territorial ambition, but rather with a clear and specific motivation. It becomes clear that a singular, catastrophic event, a trigger, set them on this path of destruction. The humans are not attacking without reason, they are fighting for something far greater than the command had ever imagined. Among the intercepted messages, coded references to a diplomatic betrayal and a hidden threat are discovered. Some mention a shadowy incident that shook the foundations of human leadership. The Galactic Command grows anxious as they realize that the trigger for this war may lie within their own past actions. Years before the attacks began, there had been a covert operation initiated by a faction within the Galactic Command. This operation was deemed insignificant at the time, a test of experimental bioweapons conducted far from the Galactic Core, meant to be a routine exercise in maintaining military readiness. The target had been an uninhabited sector near Earth, chosen for its remoteness. But something went horribly wrong. In the flashback, the truth of the incident unfolds. One of the test agents malfunctioned, drifting dangerously close to Earth's atmosphere. Though the operation was immediately terminated, and the record sealed, the damage had already been done. To the humans, this was no minor mistake, it was an existential threat. Human scientists, investigating the incident in secret, discovered the presence of alien manipulation in their genetic makeup. The realization struck fear into the heart of humanity. Whether by accident or intention, the Galactic Command had endangered the very survival of their species. And they would not stand idly by. For humanity, the discovery of this covert operation changed everything. The aliens had always been cautious in their interactions with Earth, but now humans had proof that they were being treated as expendable, lab rats in a larger, galactic experiment. Humanity had no choice but to interpret this as a direct threat to their existence. They had believed in peace and cooperation with the galactic community, but the discovery revealed a darker reality. Earth was vulnerable, and the Galactic Command had been willing to exploit that vulnerability. The flashback to the Catalyst incident reveals the panic and outrage within Earth's highest echelons of power. Secretive meetings among human leaders are held, debates erupting over how to respond. There is no consensus until one leader steps forward, voicing what everyone had feared. This was not just an isolated incident. It was evidence that humanity could never truly be safe unless they took matters into their own hands. The attack on Earth had been a silent one, but the response would not be. From the human perspective, war was never the first choice. Violence was not a means to an end, but a necessary tool for survival. In a key moment of dialogue from a human leader, perhaps a general or an influential politician, the philosophy behind humanity's retaliation is laid bare. We did not choose this war, the leader reflects. We were content with peace, with partnership. But we have learned that in this galaxy, the strong dictate the terms of survival. And if we are to survive, we must become the strongest. We will not allow our fate to be decided by others. We will not go quietly into the night. For humans, survival is paramount. They fight not for conquest or glory but for the continued existence of their species. And once they are provoked, once they see a threat, they do not back down. They retaliate with everything they have. It is a philosophy born from centuries of struggle on Earth, a world that constantly forced humanity to adapt, endure, and rise stronger after every challenge. Now, that tenacity is being unleashed on the galaxy. As the Galactic Command begins to understand humanity's rationale, the shock runs deep. They had assumed the humans were lashing out without cause, acting out of irrational aggression. But now, they see the truth, the humans are fighting for survival. The leaders of the command are left to grapple with the implications of their own actions. For decades, they had viewed humanity as a lesser species, something to be tolerated, perhaps even manipulated when necessary. Now, they realize that they have inadvertently created their own worst enemy. The humans, once seen as small players in the grand galactic arena, are now revealed as a force willing to stop at nothing to protect their future. The revelation causes an internal rift within the command. Some argue that humans must be reasoned with, that the galaxy cannot afford a prolonged war. Others insist that humanity is too dangerous to be left unchecked. The command's leaders are no longer certain of their own moral high ground. They are forced to ask themselves a difficult question: did they bring this upon themselves? As the reality of humanity's motivations sinks in, the command's fear shifts into something more profound, a recognition of the consequences of their own actions. For the first time, they truly understand what they are up against. Humanity isn't just fighting to win, they're fighting to survive, and there's no telling how far they will go. Humanity's armada emerges from the depths of space like a tidal wave. Their ships, sleek and angular, move with deadly precision. Each vessel is equipped with technologies that exploit the alien fleet's vulnerabilities. Human scientists, working under constant pressure, have developed countermeasures to the once imposing alien defenses. The sheer size of the human fleet, bolstered by unconventional weaponry and enhanced with cybernetic upgrades, sends shockwaves through the galaxy. Human ships aren't just designed for battle, they are adapted for guerrilla tactics and strategic strikes that leave no room for the enemy to recover. Swarms of drones dart through the ranks of alien ships, turning once safe formations into chaotic fields of destruction. Using their knowledge of the galaxy's hyperspace routes and gravitational anomalies, humans outmaneuver the alien fleets, delivering devastating blows in sectors thought impenetrable. The alien generals can only watch in horror as their carefully laid plans crumble under the relentless and calculated human onslaught. The Galactic Command had never seen anything like this. Their superiority in sheer numbers and advanced technology meant nothing in the face of human adaptability and ruthlessness. Within the corridors of the Galactic Command, panic spreads like wildfire. The high-ranking officials, once confident in their overwhelming advantage, are now divided. Desperate attempts to regroup their forces fail at every turn. Human attacks seem to anticipate their every move, cutting off supply lines, hijacking communication channels, and exploiting every gap in the command's defenses. Alien leaders scramble to coordinate a counterattack, but their efforts are continually thwarted by human ingenuity. A powerful weapon is developed by one of the galaxy's most advanced species, an energy beam capable of incinerating entire planets, but before it can be deployed, humans launch a preemptive strike, neutralizing the weapon and destroying its creators. The Galactic Council descends into infighting, with some advocating for a peace settlement, while others demand an escalation in force. The possibility of deploying planet-destroying weapons is floated, but even that suggestion carries a chilling uncertainty. Would such extreme measures even stop humanity? The fear that has gripped the command is not just the fear of defeat but the fear of provoking humanity further. They are now an unstoppable force. Human victory seems inevitable. Alien planets begin surrendering, one by one, acknowledging that they cannot withstand the fury of Earth's military. The speed with which human forces dismantle entire galactic fleets leaves no room for doubt. Humanity's vengeance is absolute. Some alien species, long arrogant in their superiority, now bow their heads in awe. Others tremble in fear, awaiting their fate. Even those who had never considered humanity a threat now regard them with a newfound respect, mixed with deep guilt for having underestimated them. Conversations among the Galactic Command turn from war strategies to the grim reality of survival under human rule. Even with their technological advantage, the aliens had never accounted for the human spirit, the resilience, the determination, and the willingness to do whatever it took to win. The galaxy begins to reckon with the consequences of provoking a species that fights not for glory, but for its survival. Humanity's rise from being underestimated diplomats to feared warriors becomes a terrifying reality. In a final bid to maintain their dominance, the Galactic Command gathers the last of its forces at their most fortified stronghold. It is here, in the heart of a distant galaxy, that they prepare for their last stand. The defenses are formidable: layered shields, defense platforms, and planetary artillery, designed to hold off any attacking force. But the human fleet arrives with overwhelming power. The skies darken as Earth's warships descend, their weapons primed for the final assault. There is no hesitation, no second thoughts. Humanity has resolved to end the war on their terms. The alien commanders, seeing the sheer size of the human fleet, know that their defeat is imminent. For humanity, this is the last step in ensuring peace. The alien species that once ruled the galaxy are now on the brink of collapse, watching as their last defenses fall to the relentless human assault. The war will conclude, and it will be humanity's victory, not just for Earth, but for every human across the galaxy. Their message is clear: provoke them at your peril. Victory for humanity is not just an option, it is a guarantee. The war is over. The once mighty Galactic Command, who had controlled and policed the galaxy with an iron grip, now stands in the shadow of defeat. The remnants of their leadership gather in the central hall, a far cry from the confident rulers they once were. Their faces, etched with disbelief and exhaustion, reflect the weight of the surrender they are about to formalize. Representatives of humanity, standing calm and composed, await the formal declaration. The humans, despite having achieved total victory, do not gloat or demand total subjugation. Instead, they present surprisingly fair terms. Their goal was never conquest, only survival. The terms are focused on peace and coexistence, ensuring that such a conflict never arises again. Even in victory, humanity extends a hand of diplomacy. They want the galaxy to understand that they did not seek this war but were forced into it. The Galactic Command, humbled and broken, accepts the terms. Their reign is over, and the balance of power in the galaxy has shifted forever. In quiet rooms far from the negotiating tables, humanity's leaders sit together, reflecting on the war's end. While there is a sense of accomplishment, there is also an undeniable undercurrent of sorrow. The devastation that the war has brought to entire star systems weighs heavily on them. Cities, civilizations, entire planets lie in ruin. The human leaders speak of their resolve, how they never wanted this war but were left with no choice. They had to act to protect their species, their home, and their future. There is no triumphalism, only a somber commitment to ensure that such destruction never happens again. They vow to maintain their strength, knowing that the galaxy has now seen what humanity is capable of. But with that strength comes the responsibility to use it wisely. The human leaders know the price of survival, and they are determined not to let it come to this point ever again. Across the galaxy, the ripple effects of humanity's victory are felt everywhere. The galactic species, once sure of their superiority, now watch in awe and trepidation. How could they have underestimated the humans so gravely? Once considered newcomers, fragile in comparison to the ancient species of the galaxy, humans have now proven themselves as a force no one can afford to dismiss. Conversations across planets are filled with both fear and respect for the humans. Many alien species, once scornful, now reconsider their assumptions. The humans are no longer seen as mere diplomats or passive observers, they are survivors, capable of unleashing overwhelming power when provoked. A new era has dawned in the galaxy, and humanity stands at its forefront. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear: from now on, the galaxy will think twice before ever underestimating the humans again.